Hey there, it's the Machine of Nonsense, episode 93, and we're talking reunions. We're also talking D23 and Ubisoft Forward. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hey, hey.
And we've got Aaron on the pod today.
Hey.
And Mike.
Hey.
So, the four of us, we're going to be talking about reunions. I'll get to that in a little bit. Let's go around the room first. Let's catch up. It's been a little bit. Aaron, what you been up to, man?
Playing Ghost of Tsushima. I've been replaying it, but I'm playing the director's cut, and there's a lot of stuff in there, so it's exciting. Aside from that, I saw Barbarian last night. That was really good.
I think Kayla and I are going to be checking that one out tonight, I think.
It was really good. Like
I'm so jealous.
The
I'm
music.
so scared.
Oh yeah, definitely scary.
Oh, no.
The music, it's not what you think it would be. The movie makes it look like trailers look like it's this atmospheric thing. It's really not. It's really good though. It's not creepy, it's actually scary. Just like the way the music for it is just great. It always fits the moment, and then like the way it's filmed is great, and then it'll go from a scene that's super dark and terrifying. The next thing it's like a bright sunny day with happy music playing. Like it jumps from these moods, and it's fantastic. And then
that's crazy. It's a first time director for that, I believe. So
yeah, it's great.
Knock out of the park like that.
Justin Long does a kind of a great job as a piece of shit. And
Justin Long's in that movie?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that gag going as long as I can.
I saw someone tweeting there like, man, we need more Justin Long in movies. So I guess he was pretty good in it. So
Pennywise does really good in it.
Yes.
The lady from Broadchurch does really good in it.
Is that the main character?
She's not the main character in Broadchurch. She's the main character.
But in Barbarian, that's...
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Bill Skarsgård was executive producer on that one, so that's kind of cool.
He?
Yeah. Or one of the listed executive producers. He wasn't the sole executive producer.
He does a very good job. I have
Bet
more to
on
say
yourself,
about
man.
See it, but it's a fantastic movie.
That's
Bet
awesome.
on Bill.
And then other than that, I've been like nonstop watching YouTubers who focus on Hogwarts Legacy, like exclusively.
Okay.
There's so much stuff in the stuff they release. Like they just released a thorough walkthrough of each of the common rooms for the different houses, and it's fantastic. So much of that is going to be like based on the books rather than the movie. Like they've changed like the entrance to Gryffindor Tower. It's now literally like a hole in the wall as opposed to like a doorway like they made it in the movies, and it looks fantastic. I'm so excited for that.
I'm excited for that game too. It sucks the conversation around it. I hope that you could just kind of get rid of that.
Yeah, well, there is the issue that she made the goblins look and act a lot like Nazi caricatures of Jews from the 40s.
Yeah.
And they are the main bad guys of the game. So it's a little rough to take what in Harry Potter is essentially a subjugated race and then make them the bad guys.
Oh boy.
So I can see that's rough. There's definitely more diversity than Harry Potter's people have problems with.
Progress.
Yeah, that's
well,
good.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I still doubt there's any like trans people, if we're being honest, but it looks good. I know she has nothing to do with the story, any of it. It's the writers and the producers and the directors are all huge fans of Harry Potter. Like, and you can see if you guys go and you're done here and you watch just watch the house like common rooms and stuff, and you'll see it. There's so many tiny details from the book. It's just amazing.
I've been scared to check it out.
It's
I don't like. I feel like I want to see it when I play the game.
Yeah, I wish I did do that. Because now I don't know if I can wait 5 months.
Right.
Because they pushed it back, and I keep watching these old videos. Because I'm watching these videos where these guys are literally like second by second slowing it down and like are like, well, look at this. Did you see this in the corner? And it's just all these like little minute details, and it's fantastic.
Zooming in.
Yeah. It's like, and across here through this doorway in the shadows, you can see this, and there's this Chudley Cannons poster on this wall, and according to Quidditch Through the Ages, this year means this, so this game may span several years or not instead just be 1 year. It's crazy stuff they found out just from watching these 2-minute trailers.
That's great.
I like watching those deep dive stuff. Like, remember when Mario Odyssey came out and the first trailer, people were like finding all crazy stuff inside of it too.
Yeah, there's a few YouTubers that do that. This is the only thing they do. They have whole channels just for this.
Oh yeah.
I want to do it, but just closer at least to the time of being able to access it.
If I had more willpower, I think a blind go would have been amazing.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, because it would have been so cool to see certain things for the first time. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, and then they're like zooming in on newspapers in the background, like, oh, and this is the date that the game first takes place, and all this. Like, it's pretty fantastic. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that'll be amongst the many games coming out early next year. The insane slate. I
wish they didn't push it back, but I mean, just like I love open world games and the detail. I have a feeling this is going to probably be one of my favorite games. And if it's not, then I could always just kill myself. So
that franchise deserves like a really good video game adaptation. I've never heard anything good about any of the previous. Maybe like Lego Harry Potter has fans, right?
I love Lego Harry Potter. Yeah, but so many of the games, like the Goblet of Fire, and the Order of the Phoenix, they were like, the games are okay. Any game that's licensed like that follows the story of a book or movie usually isn't great. But like in those games, like it was pretty open in Hogwarts. Even if it wasn't 100% open, like this one looks amazing. Like this one's so big that you in the background of like when it's showing you different scenes from around the castle and stuff, like you can see like waypoints where you're gonna be able to fast travel because the area is so big. It's pretty.
I always hear people bring up that Chamber of Secrets game when they're talking about like hidden gem licensed games. I really like that one from back in the day.
Yeah, it's so good. And the Harry Potter games, they've all been kind of the same thing. They have the same mechanics. Like they'll like looking for the chocolate frog cards and collecting the every flavor beans. But the thing is, this game starts in 1890, and according to canon, those candies haven't been invented yet.
Oh,
so they're gonna have to go in a different direction for some of this stuff, or they'll just
itself hadn't been invented back then.
Right? Yeah, Yeah. They'll probably most likely break canon to have certain mechanics.
Candy back then was just rocks, right? Like people just put sugar on rocks and ate it or something.
Oh, I'm reading now. Due to Queen Elizabeth's funeral, they're pushing it even further back.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Aaron. This game has just got delayed again.
Queen Elizabeth was alive when this game's set, right? Like she's in this game, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Sure. I mean,
Hogwarts Legacy. We got you, Queen. USA. Kayla, we played through 2 games. We powered through 2 games recently. What did you think of Midnight Fight Express and Immortality?
Very different games. Very different. Midnight Fight Express was fun. It was short. Mystery, fighting, obviously. Midnight Fight Express. You wake up with this little droid that says hey, your building's on fire. Follow me if you want to live. Kinda. And you don't really have any memories. And then you just kind of do what this little drone says. And it's suspicious. And are they mob bosses involved?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's kind of a mob story.
The gangs were really fun and diverse. You met a lot of them, and they would be the Rat King and the people that would come out to fight you kind of in a beat 'em up kind of style, or rat people. What other things did they have like that?
Yeah, there was really cool, like just like each game you mentioned like there was immense diversity. You would run into a new area and that area would be controlled by a specific gang. You mentioned like the Rat King had like literal rat people and stuff like that. They were like sewer dwellers, and then there were like assassins, kind of like Yakuza looking people, and like every different, like they were like hockey player type people, and then at one point you're fighting like SWAT team. You find like the police are corrupt and stuff like that, and it's just really cool. Like they constantly are adding mechanics on top of it, constantly adding new skills. You've got like a skill tree. It's pretty basic. It's like it feels like an indie game. It feels like a $20-$30 type game. We played it for free on Game Pass, but like there's like if you get into a rhythm while you're like fighting and stuff, it goes from being a pretty basic beat 'em up to like the closest you'll probably ever feel to like being John Wick. Like there were sections where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna punch this guy because you're constantly surrounded and stuff. It's got a fighting system that's not too dissimilar from like the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games. So you're constantly like surrounded by 5 dudes or whatever else, but there's various weapons you can pick up. Guns, knives, bats, whatever. Things you can throw. So you might like kick a box at one guy to stun him, punch the guy on your left, grab the gun that he just dropped, shoot the guy on your right, and then like do a super move to the final dude. If you get
drain that ammo, throw the gun, tackle him.
Yeah, and it's like it allows you, and it actually scores you, and you kind of level up based on like how wild you got in your combat. There were just some real cool sequences in that I might come back up at the end of the year. It just like felt really John Wick like, and like Kayla said, it was a quick experience. It was on Game Pass, so it was, free to us, and I would recommend it if you like beat 'em ups. It's an advanced version of a beat 'em up, and even if you just like that like Arkham style combat, and it's pretty funny too. There's a lot of like it's kind of like campy B action movie kind of humor, a lot of one-liner type stuff. It needs voice acting. There's no voice acting in it, and I think that like brings it down a little bit. It's all text based, because there's some funny ass jokes. Like it's a pretty funny game, but like it doesn't hit as hard when there's not like voice acting. But I think it's a recommend for me.
Eric, I need you to play Sifu now and tell me which one is better, so I could play one of the two.
Yeah.
Is Sifu long?
It depends. I think that depends on if you can tackle the difficulty of Sifu. Yeah.
What'd you think of Immortality, Kayla?
Quick. Immortality. I don't even have words to describe it. I think I'll let you take that beat. It was strange. I get it. It makes sense, but it's real trippy.
Yeah, incredibly trippy. One of the most unique gaming experiences I've had recently. It's from Sam Barlow, so he did Telling Lies and Her Story. Both of those games are similar to this one in that you're like kind of going over footage. Like that's the idea behind his games. You're not playing in a traditional manner. You're going over like found footage, tapes, and you're using like searches and stuff like that in like a web browser or like a computer interface in those other games. This one, you are sifting through short clips from 3 unreleased movies, all featuring the same actress, Marissa Marcel. And it's kind of it took me about a half hour to even understand kind of like what I was doing, because you're watching a clip and you're just clicking you can click on just about anything in that clip, and then that'll shoot you into
another
mostly
clip.
And mostly it's completely unrelated, like a clip that might even be from a different of the 3 movies. And it's kind of like, okay, why am I doing this? But there's a light bulb moment that comes on, and I don't want to like spoil anything if anyone does want to check it out or whatever else. there's musical cues that happen. That's all I'll say. And once you figure out what those musical cues mean and then also how to interact with them, shit gets wild. And at very least there's a performance in this game that I will 100% be bringing up at the end of the year. There is a standout like character in this game that is just like a really, really great acting. It's fantastic. But the game, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I'm going to have enough other people who even play it by the end of the year to bring up like the game as my game of the year or anything else. But like with recency bias in my mind right now, it's like it's in my conversation for like one of my favorite games of this year.
Wow.
It's like you literally just like you're watching it, and you just peel this one layer off and can see things differently.
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
It's interesting.
Right.
Such a mystery. So wild. I know Immortality didn't hit for you, Mike, but what has hit for you recently?
I've been playing TinyKin on Game Pass, and it's been really fun. It's like Pikmin mixed with like Mario 64 in a way. Like you're just kind of small person in a big world. You're collecting these little creatures to explore this like bedroom scene. So you'll collect these creatures that can blow up when you throw them. So you have to like drop a popsicle stick drawbridge, but you got to blow up the things that are holding it in place. You might have to find ones that create a ladder to get you higher up, and you're constantly doing missions for these like bug creatures who kind of control the bedroom area, and they worship like weird gods and things that like a CD player to them is like plays the hymns of their religion or whatever that they have. And the game's really, the writing's pretty charming and stuff with these people. There's no voice acting in this either. It's all little text bubbles, and they do a good job just like creating a lived-in world like in these house settings. Like they have like a little cafe that they've built in this bedroom, and there's a mail, a post office, and you have to find letters, and you're bringing them back to the post office and things like that. And it's been really fun. It's on everything. I think if you're not getting it on Game Pass, I think it's like $25. I think it'd be totally worth it at that price. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't think it's too long. I think it's close to like 7-8 hours, I think I've heard. And really, really enjoying that. But yeah, back to Immortality. I just can't. I just couldn't jive with it at all. Like I had no idea like what I was doing, like going through these film clips. What am I looking for? Were you playing it on controller or keyboard and mouse?
Controller.
Controller? Yeah. Man, it seemed like keyboard and mouse would have been maybe a easier way to do it. I
think so. I don't know how keyboard and mouse works because you can scrub through the film back and forth. And that works pretty well with the joysticks, with the two directional sticks on the controller. Clicking stuff, because it's kind of a mouse interface when you're trying to actually like click a thing is never great on a controller.
Yeah.
But the scrubbing actions of like fast forwarding, rewinding, fast rewinding, and stuff like that worked pretty well with the sticks. So, yeah.
I'll have to watch a Let's Play of that one or something.
I think maybe that's the way to do it, because honestly, the gameplay aspect of it, the clicking of stuff and the scrubbing through the footage and stuff, was the least enjoyable part of it. Like it's not very fun. That aspect is not very fun, the actual gameplay. But to me, the mystery of it, like unlocking what you unlock and just like the scenes themselves, that like there's all these behind the scenes stuff and just like these these clips from these movies and stuff just seem like I would watch these movies. Like I don't know, they're so interesting. And then once you find like there's some supernatural stuff involved in this whole story, like that just hits. That really hit for me. So I think watching a Let's Play or even just like if someone has compiled all of the like best scenes or like the secret scenes and stuff, like even just like a YouTube video of that might be really cool, because like the playing of it is meh, is whatever.
Yeah, the acting of it is what's profound.
Phenomenal acting.
Really?
Phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because for me,
Really.
her story was like that gimmick, like the best it could be. Like for me, as playing a game, like just typing in a word, it goes through the database, give me a video that has that word said in the video. And Telling Lies was like a messier version of that, and Immortality immediately seemed like a messier version of that to me. So yeah, I think I'll just check it out maybe on YouTube.
I would love if you did. I would love if you did, and if we could at least have some kind of like a spoiler-ish conversation about like what happens in that game, because it's wild. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
But other than TinyKin, I've been watching Bee and Puppy Cat on Netflix. Really love that so far. It has like that heart, that Steven Universe heart that I wanted it to. It's really funny, and I know more about the plot now. I really leading up to it when we talked about it, I had no idea really what was going on. But yeah, Bee is a young girl who inherits this puppy cat. The puppy cat. Yes, you can. Someone wants to say hello.
Hey.
Hi, Calvin.
And Puppy Cat needs to go on these missions, basically, these temp missions, and it has them going to all little kind of Mario Galaxy-esque tiny little areas, and they're doing this mission, but there's also like almost a monster of the week kind of quality to it that is leading behind this mystery of why they're being chased by a monster every time they go to these different planets and stuff, and who Bee really is, who Puppy Cat really is, leading up to something like that. It's 16 episodes. I hope it's a one and done type thing where I can get all of what I need in one thing, but really liking it so far. TV is going to be a bloodbath again this year for end of the year stuff, but I think that's all I've been doing.
Nice. Yeah, TV is going to be nuts. It's Rick and Morty came back. We watched that too. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
If that Rings of Power, I've been watching that.
Oh, nice. I don't know if you I don't know if you were on the episode. I think we're gonna like let it all come out, and we're actually gonna do a rewatch of like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and then do Rings of Power.
I've seen the first Hobbit, and it's so bad. I'll never watch the sequels. But,
man, I they are nowhere near as good as the Lord of the Rings. But I think they're fine. They're they're fun.
I think they took everything good about Lord of the Rings and just threw it out the window and said it's cheaper to use CG, and that was the whole movie. If I want to watch a cartoon, I'll watch the old cartoon Lord of the Rings. But it's
shots fired, man.
Right. Those movies are awful. I don't get how anybody watches them.
Fuck you, Peter Jackson.
Yeah, well, he did so good with the original Lord of the Rings, where each individual person you see out there is actually a person wearing a handmade costume, and then now it cuts to it's a character standing in front of a green screen. That's the entire Hobbit, and it looks like it too. It doesn't even look good.
Well, Taika stole all their, yeah. New Zealand is one giant green screen. Yeah.
I'm only 2 episodes. I think there's 3 episodes of Rings of Power, and I'm only 2 in. But and it's okay. I can see. I don't particularly care if there are black elves or hobbits, which dark-skinned hobbits are described in the book. So I don't know why people are freaking out.
Is that a thing? People are freaking out about dark-skinned hobbits.
Oh yeah,
and elves. Yeah, they're freaking. They're saying They're just trying to inject black people and everything, which, they are. That's just, diversity actually matters, but they describe several of the families in The Hobbit as being brown skinned. So
Sure.
I don't know what they expected as far as
From
that.
hair.
Also,
because it's so hairy.
Keep in mind, it's one elf and one hobbit. They're the only two black people. And people are freaking out.
Jeez.
But the orc, the only orc you've really seen so far, it's downright scary. It's almost like a horror movie. It's so good.
That's awesome. Those were some of the best, costuming decisions and stuff, or prosthetics and stuff in Lord of the Rings, were the orcs and the Uruk-hai and stuff. They were horrifying in a lot of that. So
yeah, and it looks like a down because in the other one they look like kind of like ugly people who have skin diseases. It's just like you're running from a bunch of lepers, which is good, especially for 2001.
Right.
But in this, it looks like just a full on monster. It's insane. It's so good.
Let's talk about Marvel. What are we doing?
Let's do it. Yeah. Before we get to Marvel, all right, let's talk about Ubisoft. Ubisoft had a what they call a Ubisoft Forward, just a presentation to kind of celebrate everything that they're coming out with soon. And also 15 years of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is 15 years old, so they did a big blowout on that. A lot of new Assassin's Creed stuff. So I'm going to rapid fire go through some of this, and if we have any thoughts on any of this that we checked out. Me and Kayla watched all of this yesterday. So we got some more information on Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Rayman's coming in hot to that new game. It looks a lot of fun. We got Skull and Bones is going to be completely crossplay on all platforms. So the long-awaited Skull and Bones. Riders Republic is adding BMX in its 4th season. I didn't know BMX wasn't in Riders Republic. Bunch of Division stuff. Division 2 is coming out with 2 more updates and DLC, 2 more seasons, season 10 and 11. There's going to be a free-to-play survival game called The Division Heartland, also a mobile game called The Division Resurgence. Rainbow Six is coming to mobile. It's amazing what mobile is doing nowadays. It looked pretty cool. I don't play mobile, but Rainbow Six on mobile. Netflix is getting 3 Ubisoft games, exclusive games to their platform. Valiant Hearts 2, Mighty Quest 2, and Assassin's Creed Mobile all coming to Netflix, so you can play through your Netflix app. That's a thing. Mythic Quest, which I didn't know was so successful, is getting a season 3 on Apple TV Plus. This is the Rob McElhenney, is that his name? The guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's about video game development. It's a comedy about video game development. And Ubisoft has a big hand in it. Trackmania is coming to consoles. Rocksmith Plus is now going to be fully live for $8.33 a month. You can learn to play guitar using real instruments on mobile, PC, and I think consoles as well. Just Dance 2023 is going to have 6-player multiplayer, and it's going to be combo, couch, and online co-op. Look, they showed it. It's pretty cool. They had 2 people in studio and 4 people outside, different places in the world, and they were all playing Just Dance together. Assassin's Creed Mirage is the next big Assassin's Creed in the series. It's going to be set in Baghdad and follow Basim, who was introduced in Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There's a new 15-year documentary for Assassin's Creed coming out. That's going to be on all of Ubisoft's social media accounts and YouTube. You can just check that out for free. AC Valhalla is getting its final DLC called The Final Chapter, so that's going to wrap up Eivor's story in Assassin's Creed. And then they announced a bunch of Codename games. So there's Assassin's Creed codename Jade, Assassin's Creed codename Red, and Assassin's Creed codename Hexy, or Hexe. So Jade is a mobile game set in China, I think BC China, like ancient China. Codename Red is set in Japan. You're a shinobi, a ninja. Finally, Assassin's Creed is going to Japan, as people have wanted. And they showed just the Assassin's Creed logo made out of like the Blair Witch Project sticks for Assassin's Creed codename Hexy, but apparently it's going to be a spooky Assassin's Creed of some kind.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's all we got was an image of like the Assassin's logo, the A, but it was made out of the Blair Witch Project little sticky guys. So
it'll be witchy Salem-y kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah. They also confirmed that the live-action show, Assassin's Creed live-action show for Netflix is still on. They had no further details whatsoever, but it still exists. They did have a cool logo it's also like the Assassin's Creed logo in the Netflix red with a little like N in between it. It looked all right. It looked flashy. A lot of Assassin's... It's amazing Ubisoft is putting all of this stuff out. Like, they basically said most of this stuff, the vast majority, will be by the end of 2023. And they're usually pretty good at like hitting those. Like, they're have a pretty strong cadence of releases and stuff. It was impressive. Like, none of this really... Mirage looked cool. None of it really did much for me. Skull and Bones, they did a kind of a deep dive on. I'm mildly interested in that. Anything you guys are real interested in? Aaron, you're like an Assassin's Creed fan, right? You played a lot of those.
Yeah. I've seen stuff for Mirage. That looks kind of cool. I didn't know about the other ones because I didn't watch the forward thing. But that all sounds really cool. I do really like the Assassin's Creed games. I wish they wouldn't make so many DLCs because I always pre-order the game and then I beat it within 2 weeks or so, and then I don't touch it. Like, it's a lot of game, and I'm not going to go back and do it again. And I feel like every time they release a DLC, I would have to go back and replay the game to get back up to the skill level I would need to do the expansion. So it's like they release these expansions, and they're just shouting into the storm because I can't. I'm not going to go back and replay the game for the 45 minutes of extra gameplay they just released or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely feel exactly the same, especially with like Valhalla. Like that game, you could easily spend 100 hours in that game. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, yeah. I spent maybe 50 in it, and like I didn't finish it, but like I thought it was really great. I just kind of like fell off of it after 50 hours because there was other things. But like I can't imagine like there have been multiple. This is like the third DLC, like big expansion since it.
Well, yeah,
came
like
out.
big expansions, but they keep doing things. Like I went back to playing it after I hadn't played it in a while. I'm like, I need something to play, and I'll play this game. I didn't do everything in it, so I'll try. And it was like Christmas time, and there was all these little Christmas missions to do, and like it's too much. They keep adding stuff, and I can't keep going back to play
Living game.
Right, like just let it stop. They should ask me when I'm done. I get they're trying to get people to buy it and market it after it's time has passed, but still.
Oh yeah.
They want their games to have a long tail. They want them to keep selling, keep going, keep buying into their stuff for sure.
I would rather have smaller, like more like numerous smaller Assassin's Creeds set in more places around the world than a couple of really long ones that they won't let die. Like whatever, give me a 15, 20 hour gameplay one of Assassin's Creed during the Troubles in Ireland. Give me another one of apartheid South Africa. Like come on, just like stuff like all around. I would love that more than I would love, hey, here's this Viking guy and every 6 months we're gonna give you a little island he can travel to or something like that. Like I'm not gonna start playing the game again for that. And I don't think I'm sure I'm wrong because they wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't make money. But I don't think like people who are like, "Oh man, I've been on the fence about this. I've been on the fence about this Assassin's Creed, but they just released another DLC. And the water's right to jump in." Like, I don't. I'm
wonder
sure it's
that also.
successful, but because they wouldn't do it if it didn't make money. But it just seems dumb to me.
Yeah. To each their own, you know.
I'm excited for the Rayman stuff. So,
yeah, you're really excited for Mario and Rabbids anyway, right? Like, that first game.
I just started Rabbids. I had to stop because my son just got Splatoon 3, so I'm not going to get to play the Switch for a little bit. But I was playing it, and because I love XCOM and Fire Emblem, and it's really cool, so I'm really excited. And I like Rayman. I played a lot of the Rayman games when I was younger, so.
Yeah, it was kind of sad that Rayman didn't get into Smash Brothers, and now he can team up with Mario in a different way, and it'll make perfect sense, I think. And yeah, Sparks of Hope is probably my most anticipated game for the rest of the year.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looked great. It had a nice deep dive into it. They showed a big like boss encounter, so it looks great. It looks really cool.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
On to D23. Also going on this packed week. It's actually day 3 as we record this of D23, Disney's big celebration of all things Disney, Marvel, Pixar, everything they own. And they've now had 2 days of it. And watched all of this, or most of it. Me and Kayla did. Just going to do a quick recap of day 1 and day 2, and then we can have a little bit of conversation on what looked the best. On day 1, we got a Disney and Marvel games showcase. The only 2 things that really stood out, there was a lot of just random things. Disney Illusion Island, which is a 4-player co-op, like seems to be like a puzzle platformer type game. Look interesting. Captain America and Black Panther are getting a game. It's a 4. You can choose from 4 different characters. Either Captain America, Black Panther, one of the Dormalaji, I think that's how they're what it's pronounced, and Dormalage, yeah. And a member of like Captain America's like soldier squad. I forget what they're called, but it's set in World War II. And they're really playing up like the espionage kind of acts of that time and stuff like that. So look really, really interesting. Just a real quick teaser trailer on that one. They moved on to everything coming to screens, not games. After that, Disney Plus is getting 3 new movies. We're getting Hocus Pocus 2. We already kind of knew about that. That's coming at the end of this month. Disenchanted, the sequel to Enchanted with Amy Adams. Looks interesting. And Peter Pan and Wendy also coming to Disney Plus next year. So if you can guess, that's a Peter Pan story, folks. They confirmed that the Haunted Mansion movie is still on. I forgot that that's a thing, but we're getting a Haunted Mansion movie. You know?
Hey, Murphy.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we're getting a Haunted Mansion sequel, it looks like, maybe. We're getting a prequel to The Lion King called Mufasa: The Lion King. That was kind of out of left field. That's pretty good. Mufasa's colon. Yes, that's what we're getting. Just so he's getting dirty. Getting a live-action Snow White. We recently got some images of Rachel Ziegler in the title role of Snow White. That's the girl from West Side Story. And Gal Gadot is going to be... She's going to be the evil mother, stepmother, right? I don't know the story. Snow White.
It's the evil queen.
Evil queen, yeah.
Isn't she?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Live-action Little Mermaid coming in May of 2023. They played a small clip, and they did the Part of Your World song, or a section of it. What's her name, Kayla?
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey. forever it's gonna be just screwed with Halle Berry. But she sounds like she has a phenomenal voice. She plays the title role, Ariel, Little Mermaid. She looked real good in the scene, and she seemed like she had just a fantastic voice. So that'll be interesting. That'll be coming to theaters. Elemental from Pixar coming in 2023. A Pixar movie about different elements. They could do it. Elio sounds really cool. That's another Pixar movie. It's a mix-up happens where a young kid somehow gets transported to like an alien dimension, alien planet, something like that, and they think he's like a delegate from Earth. They think he's like a ambassador. So more cool Pixar wild stuff. We're getting Inside Out 2 with the title character Riley as a teenager. I know that was a big movie for some of us on the pod. I was okay with that first one. Strange World looks really, really cool. This is like a Lost in Space done by Disney Animation, but kind of in a 1950s like film
Jacques
reel
Cousteau
type
kind of way, right?
Yeah. I think it looks pretty interesting. And then Wish was another movie they teased as well. A fantasy tale all about a world built on wishes, and the pros and cons of that.
That was day one too, right?
Yeah, Inside Out 2. So that was day one. Anything stand out to you guys that you're real interested from day one?
Little Mermaid looks cool, I think.
Finally. It's just been like forever announced.
Right.
I was satisfied with the Hocus Pocus 2 trailer. I was scared. I was scared to watch the trailer, but all right, it looks like it's got it. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. That Disney Illusion Island, I think could be fun. I thought it was cool that they made a callback to the 16-bit games, Castle of Illusion, stuff like that. I liked those games a lot when I was a kid, and I was kind of disappointed with the reveal of the Amy Hennig game. Honestly, I thought I was hearing rumors of Fantastic Four, and I would rather that be like a swapping character, 4-player, whatever kind of thing. I think those characters could be different enough. And feel different enough. These 4 characters seem like they would pretty much play all the same. Like they're all just kind of melee focused fighters, What'd you guys think of that? The Captain America Black Panther game?
Cinematically, it looked good, and I like the setting, World War II and stuff. Like the pedigree of Amy Hennig, Uncharted, going back to Uncharted and stuff. But yeah, like you said, yeah, there are cooler superheroes. There are more like unique superheroes and that have powers and stuff like that than Captain America or Black Panther. Yeah. So I get it.
We also got for Midnight Suns from that day as well. So
yeah,
that's
I
coming
missed
out December
that.
2nd, right?
Yes, yeah, December 2nd for Midnight Suns, and they're doing these prequel shorts in a really cool animation style. They showed like a little trailer for these prequel shorts, and I wish the game was in that same animation style. The game looks good regardless. Like it still looks very like very pretty, but I just really like the how that animation was. Midnight Suns. That was day one of D23. Day two was all kinds of stuff. We got a lot more Marvel. We got a lot more Star Wars. A lot of stuff. We got the final trailer for Andor and an announcement that season 2 is already in production. So I'm excited for that. That's coming out later this month, the 21st, I believe. Willow, we got a trailer for that. There's going to be a series now. It seems like it's a direct sequel to the movie, which I've never seen, but Warwick Davis is much younger than I thought he was. He's only in his 50s. I thought that man was like... Me and Kayla were like, God, he's got to be like 80, right? He's been in...
He was really
He
young
looks
when
good.
he was in Return of the Jedi and stuff. So
Yeah, he was a child in that.
Yeah. I thought he was an adult at those times. So I was like, man, yeah, he's been making movies since the early 80s. But anyway, yeah, Willow series, Bad Batch season 2, me and Kayla both enjoyed the first season of Bad Batch. Tales of the Jedi is a 6-part animated short done by the Clone Wars team. It's the same animation style as the Clone Wars. 3 of the shorts are focusing on Ahsoka Tano, and 3 are on Count Dooku. Look to be prequels of like his time while he was still a Jedi as opposed to a Sith.
Right.
Yeah, so
young Qui-Gon looked awesome. It just looks so cool.
It looks so good. I can't wait.
A little bit more news on the Ahsoka Tano live action show. That's still coming at some point. We don't have a date or anything else. Skeleton Crew, Jude Law was there to announce this. Well, it's been already kind of talked about, but he was actually on stage, and they did a little bit of a Q&A with him. Skeleton Crew still on. Jude Law and some kids in space in the Star Wars universe. Mandalorian Season 3, we got our first trailer for that. More Mandalorian stuff. Harrison Ford came out on stage and looked the most interested he's ever looked in a project in, I don't know, the last 50 years or so. He wasn't his grouchy old self. So Indiana Jones 5 is coming. We're getting a 80-year-old Indiana Jones, and Harrison Ford seems to be on board. So, we'll see. Shia LaBeouf didn't take it from him. Wakanda Forever was shown there. We didn't get to see. It's not available to us who weren't there, but there's more footage out there. I'm sure it'll leak at some point for Wakanda Forever. They teased Ironheart as well, who's going to be in Wakanda Forever, but there's also going to be a Disney Plus series. Kang is going to be a very large part in Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. They showed some clips about that, and there's, if you want to find it, there's a synopsis of what was shown online. It sounds interesting. I'm not gonna spoil that. Werewolf by Night was also shown. If you haven't seen this, go out right now, pause this, go out, check this trailer out. This was amazing. It's in black and white. It's apparently an old comic that Marvel had at one point that I was completely unaware of, but they're taking like the Universal Monster feel, those old like black and white Universal Monster movies and stuff like that.
Dracula,
that's the general. Yeah, exactly. The general idea, and they get a bunch of like the world's best hunters in a room and have a game of werewolf, essentially. Like, one of you is a werewolf, and somehow this is a Disney Marvel property. It looks gory, it looks violent, it looks fucking rad. Go check this out. Werewolf by Night. We got our first trailer for Secret Invasion, featuring Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Very old, like beaten down Nick Fury, it looked like. Pretty interesting stuff there. Armor Wars is still on. They confirmed that we're still getting our Don Cheadle-led Armor Wars. There's Loki 2 footage with more Kang. So Kang Gang is out in full effect. Fantastic Four is going to be helmed by the WandaVision director, whose name I didn't write down, but if you liked WandaVision, getting the same director for Fantastic Four, and that is all the details we got. The Echo series is going to feature Wilson Fisk, so he's still alive, folks. Daredevil Born Again got a new logo, and that's about it. Captain America NWO, I wrote down. Captain America has joined NWO with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. So the 4th Captain America movie is going to be called New World Order. We already got that, but Tim Blake Nelson, who was apparently in the original Hulk movie, or the MCU Hulk movie, I should say, with Edward Norton, is going to play the leader. If you're not familiar with Tim Blake Nelson, he had a standout role in the Watchmen series a couple years back. He was the mirror-faced guy, and he's going to be the big bad in our next Captain America. And finally, they introduced the Thunderbolts cast. So, in no particular order, we're getting Ghost, Red Guardian, Yelena, Bucky, U.S. Agent, Taskmaster, and actually the final thing was the Marvels. I had that under Thunderbolts. The Marvels are not going to be in Thunderbolts as far as I know. But yeah, Thunderbolts cast is Ghost, Red Guardian, Yelena, Bucky, U.S. Agent, and Taskmaster. There was also some behind closed doors footage of the Marvels, which is going to be like Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and
Maria Rambeau.
Yeah, Maria Rambeau. Yeah. So, a lot of stuff. What are we kind of most digging on? For me, Werewolves by Night or Werewolf by Night stole the show for me without a doubt.
I got to check that out.
Please do. It looked amazing. It was like, I can't believe this is a Disney thing like that they're promoting. It's wild.
I thought Secret Invasion looked pretty cool. I am excited to see more of that. Had a very thrilling trailer, I thought.
Yeah, it did. What about you, Caleb?
I'm excited for Tales of the Jedi.
That was kind of you too, right, Aaron? You were like pretty digging on that one.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer for that last night, and it's just so cool seeing. I like how they're finding little periods in Star Wars history that hasn't been expanded on. Going into it, it's cool.
And this has been my favorite way to dive into that universe with the Clone Wars style.
Yeah. And the voice for Anakin sounds the same as the clone. I don't know if they got the same voice actor from the Clone Wars, but it sounds the same. So that'd be cool.
Really good too. Yeah, it's a good.
Which weirdly enough, apparently Hayden Christensen wanted to do it, but they said no because everybody hated him at the time.
That's sad. Poor Hayden.
We've come around.
Yeah, people change their minds, I guess. They realized he didn't write the dialogue he was saying. Like, I don't know why he got blamed for the line, "I hate sand." Like, which I don't even think is that bad. It's normal to hate sand.
I also
it's
hate
a beaut. I hate sand.
So that Ahsoka show is a prequel?
No,
No,
I think
the Tales of the Jedi has young Ahsoka.
Oh, maybe that's what I was.
Right.
I saw people complaining about prequel stuff and how everything in Star Wars shouldn't have to be a prequel. And they had Ahsoka's name in there. I thought maybe they announced that.
No, because the live action is Rosario Dawson. We've already seen adult Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka. I think that's what it's been established.
It's going to be in the Mandalorian verse, I think. Yeah,
right.
That's what I thought. I figured that's what it would be. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Tales of Jedi covers, I think, the last point in time when she's a Jedi and after she's left. Because it shows her, I guess it shows her at Padme's funeral and stuff.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, the cool thing that I saw about Tales of the Jedi is it's going to all be available on... I didn't write down the date. I really should have. But it's going to be all available on day one. So all 6 shorts. So you can binge that. I don't know about the length on them. They're calling them shorts. So I guess they got to be under 30 minutes a piece or something. But yeah, that's probably number 2 for me after Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I loved the Daredevil show. I didn't like the Defenders, but I really loved the Daredevil show. So I'm excited for that.
Charlie Cox is great.
He's so much better than Ben Affleck. I'm so happy they're bringing him back. So.
Man, maybe they'll do a DC thing and they'll just multiple Daredevils. I want to see Ben Affleck. Bring Ben Affleck into the Daredevil show. Oh, man.
And then we got to have Elektra, Get
Carmen Electra and Jennifer Garner's Electra. We need them.
Right.
All of the Electraverse.
Thunderbolts.
Jamie Foxx, Electro.
Ooh, there we go.
Thunderbolts cast, Mike, I think is what you said.
Yeah, I was excited to see the full lineup for that crew. I was not expecting Red Guardian and
that's
stuff like that.
So cool.
And,
give me more Yelena. Just put Yelena in everything.
I wonder how sneaky important that's going to be into the whole MCU, because that's the last part of Phase 18 or whatever, I think. Final linchpin. So
I think you're right. Yeah, it is. It's been at the end of every timeline they've shown. So yeah.
I'm sort of fatigued, so I hope it's different enough to be interesting. I don't know. Now I watch, I'm like, oh, I can tell this is a really cool movie, but I feel like they're doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, if anything hits on day 3 of D23, I'll be sure to post it to all of our social media. But let's get on to the actual topic that I mentioned way back when this episode started: reunions. The reason for the season being me, Kayla, Mike, and Mike's wonderful girlfriend Selena went to a multi-year high school reunion. All of us have been graduated for quite some time, but they did a very long span high school reunion for our the high school we all went to, and to varying degrees of success. I had a good time the time I was there, in and out, but it got me thinking about reunions in all of the movies, TV, and video games we love. So I wanted us to just kind of have a roundtable discussion of some of our favorite reunions in media. This doesn't have to be all, there are some elements of like family reunion movies or, things that take place during high school reunions, things of that nature. But it could be any time characters are reunited, come back together, reunite, reunion in any way, shape, or form. I think it's really compelling, and I think it'll be a fun little conversation to have. Kayla, why don't you start it off with one of your favorite reunions?
Okay. I'm going to pick one out of the video games. I'm going to pick Uncharted 4. Where Nate and his brother Sam, right?
Sam,
yes.
Yeah.
Reunite. It's a bit of a weird because we didn't quite know Sam, so it wasn't like we had time with them both, and then they were separate, and then they were together. But just as they have been reunited, and actually all of Uncharted kind of have a lot of you separate and get reunited, and bam, bam, pow, pew, pew. Fun stuff, but I just think that it was really heartwarming. I enjoyed those characters reuniting.
Good call. And I feel like they did a great job. Like you mentioned, in the first 3, you'd never heard of Sam, really, like in the first 3 movies, but they did a good job of just like, okay, he shows up, oh, here's your long lost brother, and it just kind of makes sense. The story's so like focused on that, and just like how he integrates with Sully as well, who has been kind of Nate's partner, and like, oh, they know each other. Oh, that's your brother Sam. He's a bunch of trouble, like stay away from your brother. And I feel like they did a great job of making it feel like earned. Like, oh yeah, this has like power to it. Good call.
Oh yeah.
I will say, I should have said this ahead of Kayla's pick, but we're going to have to spoil stuff, in some of these. I'm sure these are going to be in all old stuff, new stuff, whatever else. So there's going to be probably spoilers for stuff. So, beware, guys. Mike, you could do one next.
I will do a TV one. I'm going to go with One Piece. It's for all you anime heads out there. One Piece has a terrific reunion. It's after a time skip where I think 3 years have passed. The pirate crew they were about to embark on the next level of difficulty, basically, as in their journey to find the One Piece. And they were going to go where people were really strong, basically. And they get their ass handed to them at the checkpoint to get to that area. And someone separates them. He shoots them across the world to varying places to where they can basically become stronger. They train in these areas. They learn new techniques. They grow as people over these 3 years. And when they finally get back together and they have to defeat a crew that's been impersonating them because they're infamous pirates at this point, and they've been gone for 3 years. So this team is kind of use that to their advantage and pretends to be the Straw Hats, and just to see how far they've come and the new techniques they get, and to see them so excited to see each other again after that time was just awesome. And I love that moment.
Man, that's like, what, episode 200 of 1500, right?
Oh no, this is like episode 600. I want to say. So yeah, this is, you got to get very deep to see this moment, but a great reunion moment.
Nice. What do you got, Aaron?
Mine's not really like an internal reunion, but just I love like how Reno 911 ended, and then they started a completely new show with all like the same cast mostly, and the new show is just like, it picks right up. It
Oh wow.
it plays pretty much the same. It's really funny. So I like that.
It's a good call. I like that. Yeah. Thinking outside the bun. Big fan. I'm gonna go with movies to start mine, and there's kind of like, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and do like, there was a genre that seemed to be all about like reuniting for a while in the 90s. So like The Brave Little Toaster, Homeward Bound, The Land Before Time, kind of all are about like taking these kind of vulnerable characters and stuff, putting them on a journey, and finally like getting to their family, their like safe place and stuff at the end. So like, I dug all of those as a kid. So I had like Homeward Bound specifically, but as I was like thinking about it, I was like, man, all these movies kind of mattered so much to me. I liked that theme.
Oh man, the end of that, when you don't know if Shadow got out of that hole, and his boy, is looking into the woods, just like waiting for Shadow, and he finally shows up, and man, hell yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, those are all so good. You got another one, Kayla?
Sure. I have a team, if you will. I picked Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler as my man. We seen them in Wedding Singer. It was great, one of my favorites. And then boom, they reunited and gave me 50 First Dates, and it's great. And we'll stop right there at those two. Those two.
Oh, come on. That third one. What is that third one?
Blended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not. It just didn't have the magic that those two together had on screen.
I like it. That's another outside the box pull. Big fan.
Yeah, that's fun. I like what you guys did.
What do you got, Mike?
I'm gonna go game here. I'm gonna go What Remains of Edith Finch. Not really. It's more of a metaphorical reunion. I get like you play as a young girl who is visiting her fabled family home, which is like this crazy cobbled together mansion that they kept adding rooms to over and over again, and it on the outside looks like a makeshift Disney castle kind of thing. There's spires and stuff, and this family is basically kind of cursed, where every member has had an untimely death, and there's certain rooms that are barred off and blocked off, and you gain access to them, and you relive kind of their final moments as you're going through each room. Someone has an accident at the fish cannery that they worked at. Someone when they were young was very hungry at night and ate like these berries off of a Christmas decoration or something, and had hallucinations that they were like a bird and all these different animals, and I think fall to their death. And Edith like kind of learns about her family this way and really reconnects with her past and stuff in a nice way, and is ready to face the future. I don't want to spoil kind of the end to that one. Love this game. Definitely go out and play it. But it's fun to just kind of see her reunite with these people she's never met, really. It's great.
That fish cannery sequence is
Yeah.
phenomenal. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
insane. The gameplay just completely changes, and I mean, it continually changes in that game.
Oh
what a
yeah,
game.
every little room that you go to is like a different vignette. It's you're doing something that you weren't doing. Like one of them's like a horror, like campy Pulp Fiction, Tales from the Crypt kind of comic thing where you think a killer is around, like, and stuff like that, and the art style changes and everything, and it's very good, very good.
Fantastic game. You got another one, Aaron?
Yeah, this is kind of like a TV show to a movie. You guys really haven't watched it, but the People Just Do Nothing. It's written by a certain cast, and then the show ended and it had been off for a while, and then they wrote. Well, it's not even a movie; it's like a series, limited series, so kind of like a movie. They wrote and they all start. Also, most of them at least starred in a show called The Curse, and it's really great that they all play completely different characters, but they still have like really good chemistry. I like that a lot.
Awesome. That is fun. I'm
Nice.
going to bring up one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy VI. Deep spoilers here for like a 30-year-old game, folks. But midway through this game, or like a quarter through this game, the world literally ends. You've built this party of like 12 characters up from the beginning of the game. The world ends, and the second half of the game, or the second 3/4 of the game, is all about finding them out in the world, and most of it's optional. Like, you don't have to ever reunite with your companions. If you don't want to, you can take on the final boss with a very small party if you want to. But the journey to find everyone and kind of use context clues and stuff of like where they would be when you last left them, or where they came from, and stuff like that. Or you hear rumors as you're playing of like, oh yeah, there's a strong man who hangs out over here, and it's like, oh, that's gotta be Sabin, whatever. Just really cool. And then when you finally get the whole gang back together to take on the big bad at the end, it's just thoroughly, there's a sense of accomplishment and everything else of like, all right, we took on them once, we lost, the world ended, and then we got all back together, and we did it again and prevailed. So Final Fantasy VI.
That's a good one.
Thank you. You got another one, Kayla?
I was going to say TV show just because one out of each, but I'm like scared we're not going to say The Last of Us. So I'm just going to say it. Of course, Joel coming in and getting Ellie. That's just waking up in the car. The whole scene of you going through the hospital is just so intense, and your heart is racing like the whole time. You just are on the edge of your seat and like, I don't know, shocked like through the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember just fucking running through this section, not stopping for audio logs, like thinking that, yeah, I had to get there as fast as I fucking could. And man, what a scene. This game kind of has two moments like this, especially in Winter when him reuniting with Tommy too. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Actually,
but when Ellie and Joel are separated, when he's injured in Winter, and all Ellie can kind of say is like, he was gonna, and she doesn't really know how to explain like what danger she was in to Joel at the end there. And man, great moments in that one.
And it's great. Those two scenes are like the inverse of each other. One protecting the other, one saving the other, and reuniting with the other. It's what a game. Jesus, how could we mention Final Fantasy VI and The Last of Us back to back? Oh, you guys are getting me in my feelings. Oh, whew.
The end of that season in the hospital, like, I didn't know like that doctor was gonna end up being such a big thing in Last of Us 2, and like, I didn't even let him finish talking. I came in the room and I shot him. Like, I didn't. Like, I didn't listen to any of it. Like, boom, dead. So like, maybe I deserved to have my head caved in, but
Oh, good stuff. Mike, you got another?
Yeah, I'll do a movie, and I'm sure we're gonna have a bunch of honorables, of course, as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
We can talk
Let's
about,
do
but I'm gonna go with the Royal Tenenbaums, the Wes Anderson classic. This is just a wacky family, kind of like similar to Edith Finch in a way. Really, some characters there, and who are reunited through the almost death of their father, played by Gene Hackman, who is Royal Tenenbaum. That's his name, and they all kind of meet back at their big old crazy New York estate, and you have Ben Stiller, who has lost a wife and really had to emancipate himself from his family because he became kind of rich at a young age and stuff, and uh, him dealing with father stuff and mother stuff, and you have Luke Wilson and Gwyneth Paltrow, who Gwyneth Paltrow is adopted, and they have their weird romance that they've kind of kept hidden or feelings that they've kept hidden for each other for years and years and years, and just great family drama in that one. And Gene Hackman gives just a top-notch, funny performance in this, and this one really gives way to Wes's kind of house style that he's developed, where just with the colors and everything syncing up the way he likes it. This is the first one that really starts that whole thing.
Nice. Aaron, you got something?
Oh no, I just had the 2. I didn't make a goal.
That's okay. I got plenty more. I have plenty more. And then, like Mike said, we could do an honorable mentions as well. I got a long list actually. But I've done a movie and I've done a game, so I'll do TV. And this is the most recent on my list. Station 11.
Yeah.
And Kirsten and Jeevan coming back together after you just kind of assume that he's gone, like dead, the entire show. I did, at least. I had no, there was no in my mind that oh yeah, he's coming back or anything else like that, or they'll be reunited. But yeah, through a wild series of events, we kind of get an episode kind of devoted to Jeevan's comeback in a sense, and just really powerful stuff. Really, what a great show, and what a cool capper on kind of the end of that show, or near the end at least.
Yeah, and they kind of keep almost kind of meeting, almost crossing paths in this compound area, and you think they're not gonna meet they're not gonna know that they're alive, they're still alive, and then they finally do. They do it so well. Their goodbye to each other works so well. Great moment for sure.
Do you have more, Kayla?
Should I just I'll just kind of rapid fire a couple of things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned Homeward Bound already, but Home Alone, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yeah.
After Party was a show that came out this year, which was literally fully centered English. It was about a high school reunion. And that you had mentioned about the Edith Finch thing, how each kind of story was kind of different, and about their true identity, had their kind of vibe and flavor on it, which was really fun to go through as they told their stories of the night. And then I got, I wrote down Castlevania, Trevor Sypha, and Alucard, but that whole kind of end is tons of reunions. You got Alucard and Dracula, Camilla at the end. I don't know if her and was it Hector that she fought?
Yeah.
Isaac,
right.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't really have anything before, right? They didn't have a relationship too much before.
Kind of adversarial a little bit.
Oh, what a fight. What a fight.
What a fight. Yeah, just the whole... it was just...
Reunion of these fists, bitch!
Yes.
Oh.
That was pretty much all I had listed.
Speaking of reunions of these fists, bitch, I had to mention Dragon Ball Z is just one big reunion show. I mean, from
You're right.
like
Someone's
the
always
first
dead.
episode of Goku and Piccolo, like these adversaries kind of reuniting to fight Goku's brother from space, who we never knew he had, to all of the times that, you know, various characters get brought back from the dead to reunite with their team and save the day and everything else. Dragon Ball Z is just 200 episodes of people reuniting over and over and over again.
When Goku finally gets to Namek, like, and because everyone's, Gohan's fucked up, Krillin's all dead, and they're just like, yes, Goku's here, I can't believe it. Like, that stuff for elementary school me was just like so good. So good.
Oh, I'm sure I could watch that today and be just as enamored. Dragon Ball Z. Also had Mass Effect 2. Great reunions in that one. The crew is split across the universe for the most part that you met in part 1, and for the most part you meet them all back again, and and most of them join your crew again. You get to use them and be reunited in that way, but you get to touch on everyone from the first game again, in some way, shape, or form, and kind of see where they are in the world again. Get the band back together. Mass Effect 2. What a thing.
I felt that way about like so many video games. There was just like, you can pick out Resident Evil, and in every single one there's just so many times where you get separated from your path. You have to go one way, she has to go a different way, and then you like meet up and somebody's got the weapon you need or the key to let you out, and there's a lot of those in video games.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
What else did you have, Mike?
I think like the biggest one of them all might be Avengers Endgame.
I just noticed that I have it so tiny written on my paper. Like, damn it, how did I not?
That's like one of the best theater experiences for me.
Thank
Like,
you
I was
for
so caught up in the action that was happening that I completely forgot that Hulk did the snap, brought people back, and then to hear, Cap on your right, see those portals opening up. You get the Peter and Tony moment. You get the cool, just all the fun interactions like happening all over the place. Such a crazy last like 45 minutes of a movie. It's really great. And just a great reunion. And then I have the final episode of Parks and Rec. It's another kind of time skip kind of moment. People have kind of splintered off, and as you do as you get older, and to have them get back together and befriend each other again, and see that gang back together in the final episode was awesome.
Nice, cool.
Yeah, I've got a couple more in the fantasy realm. In Lord of the Rings, when all is said and done, the Fellowship comes back together. They break at the end of the first one, go their separate ways, all go on very unique adventures. And we finally get everyone back, at Frodo's bedside. It's just really, they laugh awkwardly. I'm not a fan of their little like weird laughing scene that they do. Gandalf and Frodo kind of start laugh awkwardly, but it's still it's all kind of bathed in this after the whole adventure has been so dark, and like Frodo's in a fucking volcano and everyone's dying, and just all this like blood and darkness and everything else. It's bathed in like this white light, the whole scene of them getting back together, and it's pretty cool. It's really great that most of them made it out. They're all changed and in various ways, but they got back together. And then Game of Thrones, back when it was good. The Starks finally, what was left of them near the end. You have the kind of like final cool team up at Winterfell and everything else, where all of the characters that we've kind of met up until that point essentially kind of all end up in the same place. Everyone from Jaime Lannister to the remaining Stark children to Beric Dondarrion, everyone's favorite character from everyone just kind of comes together. Most of them die, and it's just a really cool way to bring together all these storylines that have been going on for 8 seasons or whatever at that point, and everything else. And it's almost like the last part of that is good. It's kind of is the, for me at least, where yep, that peaked there, or maybe peaked right before that, even. But Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings.
Nice. That's all I got.
That's every reunion that's ever been. We've done it. We are.
Let us know your best favorite reunions. Darn it.
Yeah.
You just said you got them all.
Darn it.
Yeah, they're gonna just type a bunch of question marks on our Facebook page, and I don't know, you guys got them all. That was it. Episode 93 is in the books. Maybe we'll have a reunion episode of episode 93 someday down in the future. That was bad. That was a bad joke. We'll see. We'll see if I leave it in. 93 was great. We talked Ubisoft Forward, we talked D23, and we talked our favorite reunions in pop culture. Had a lot of fun. Join the conversation. If you can think of any other reunions, we will pay you to post them to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let us know. Send us an email at machineofnonsense@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail and say what your favorite reunion was at anchor.fm/machineofnonsense. You only have 1 minute, so make it count. Let us know. We are barreling toward 100 episodes, folks, and we want to do something really special. We'd like to have as much participation from you, the listeners, as possible. We'll figure out how that all works, but where you can start is by hitting us up. Hitting us up on that voicemail, hitting us up on that email. We want to hear from you any way, shape, or form that you can. And maybe on the day of, we'll do something live where you can interact with us on that. We're still, we got a little bit of time. We got maybe a month or something from episode 100, but we want to make it special. But look for further details in the future. That's it, folks. That's episode 93. It's in the books. We're getting out of here. And we're saying goodbye.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't think Aaron was going to say goodbye. He just waved.
I couldn't see you waving. I couldn't.
It's good.
They should know. They should sense it. There's a mood about it.